I think I'm coming out on TikTok. For the first time, as a 38-year-old woman. I wasn't actually planning to do this today, so will you be nice, please? But I committed to telling the story, and this is an important part of the story. My grandmother was a cult leader, and she created a cult within the Mormon church. And growing up, I always knew that I was attracted to women, and I kid you not, I thought I was the only one. I knew what being gay was. That was a man who liked a man, and also the default insult for everyone in my school calling each other that. But I thought women being attracted to women was just like this bizarre, like that was only me. And despite growing up in a cult, we did a lot of like normal things, like watching TV shows, classic 90s, Friends, Frasier, and Ellen. Gma, the cult leader, would turn on her shows at night, and we would join in watching. She laughed at Ellen's jokes, thought the show was great, and then one day I learned a new word. As you might remember, Ellen came out on her show as a lesbian. My reaction was this epiphany that there was a word for how I felt, and someone that my family really liked was having the same experience as me. My family's reaction was horror, disgust. They turned off the episode right then. They never watched Ellen again. So I got the message like, oh, I'll just never ever talk about it. Now in the Mormon church, it's not a sin to feel gay. It's called struggling with same-sex attraction. And as long as you just struggle your whole life but never act on it, then you're in the clear and God still likes you. Now, it wasn't a surprise to me that I had this abnormal sexuality. After all, I'd been told my whole life that the Satan worshippers had kidnapped me and broken my spine over and over because the gang of Satan worshippers raped me over and over as an infant. They'd messed with my brain with the power of Satan, put needles in my eyes. So I was like, well, that probably messes up a person. And that's why I like girls. If you're new here, happy spoiler, none of this was true. It was a completely made up lie, but I believed it as truth growing up. I never acted on my same-sex attraction, and I just never talked about it and just planned to go the rest of my life ignoring it. Another happy spoiler, I happily identify as queer, as in gender just isn't a big deal to me. My attraction is to an individual person, no matter what their gender is. I love myself, I love the gays, I got better. But back to our story, now I'm engaged to the red flag, and I feel like he needs to know. So I casually mentioned that I struggle with same-sex attraction. Not a big deal, I'm never gonna act on it, and I thought we would just move on. Now remember, I already told him that I was being chased by a secret organization of Satan worshippers, that they could find us and unalive us at any time, that we might need to change our names and move in the middle of the night. And he was like, all right, I'm in. So I didn't think this would be a big deal. It was a huge deal. He was incredibly freaked out. He had a ton of questions. After lots of reassurance of that we never had to talk about it, I would never act on it, we were back on the marry each other even though we'd only known each other for a couple of months Mormon track. But that insecurity never stopped. And later in our marriage, he insisted that I prove my attraction to men in some really messed up and extreme ways.